Hi everybody, Coach Allison back, and I have your week 7 Defy Aging workout to review. It's going to be a little different. We're going to have a lot of fun this week. I mean, it's always fun, right? A little bit different though. So your coach is going to have some Post-its up somewhere around the gym. Might be on a board, might be on the mirrors, kind of in this pattern. On the back side of each one of these, there's going to be more. I'm just giving a sample. There is going to be an exercise. And then on the back side of one of these is going to be an interval time and set. So like 20 on, 20 off for 8 sets, 30 on, 30 off for 5 sets, whatever other combinations I came up with. So one client gets to be the lucky one to come up and draw one of these and one of these. Don't go, you can go in order, but just pick one randomly. I only wrote on 2 of them just to get the idea. So like I'm going to walk up to the board. I'm going to be like, all right, I'm going to pick this one for the exercise. Give it to your coach. Maybe it says jumping jacks, and then you're going to pick this one for the intervals, and then this says 30 on, 30 off times 4. So the whole group then is going to do jumping jacks for, for 4 rounds of 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Okay, now those are off the board. Take a rest after that. The next client gets to come up, draw one from this side, one from this side, do what they say. So that is what we're going to do this week. We're going to set a 28-minute timer time on the clock, and we go for 28 minutes, however many we can get through. There's going to be more options than we will have time, so we're not going to get them all done. So that's what we're going to do this week. So I'm going to give you a quick run through of the 8 different exercises that you might get to do this week. One exercise you might end up doing this week, thruster. We do this one a lot. Weight in each hand, palms are turned inward as opposed to forward. Keep the weights at the shoulder height, and we do a squat, slow as you're able, and then use a little bit of that momentum coming up for the push. That's the thrusting part, the thruster. All right, so that is our thruster. Another exercise you might get, jumping jacks. They're pretty self-explanatory, right? Everyone's seen jumping jacks. Standard will have the full jumps. If you need to, or if you would prefer, you can take it to a step jack, which take a really big step if that's the version you're going to do. We want to avoid kind of a little tap. This isn't creating a lot of movement, right? So this is your alternate option, or of course, a traditional jumping jack. All right, jumping jack. Another option on the board is going to be bicep curls. You can have your choice of a dumbbell curl or a band curl. I didn't grab a band, but you would step on the band and do the same movement, really. You want to watch out for swinging, so we want to avoid any swinging back and pick a weight that you can go pretty consistent without struggling too much. So that's our bicep curl option. Another one you might get is a plank rocker. So that's an elbow plank. And, okay, elbows directly under shoulders, hips level, so our hips aren't way up here. And we come forward a little and back. So you're kind of using your feet to push and pull back. I see my body shifting forward a little, coming back. You can do that on an incline as well. Let me try if we can do that on knees. I actually honestly didn't try. Knee version. It does not really work well on the knees. So if a knee plank is kind of more your cup of tea, it doesn't work great with this. So we'll take you up to an incline. So we'll be putting your elbows on an inclined surface. Then you can do that rocker movement just fine. Another exercise you might draw is a partner band row. So for this, of course, you'll grab a partner. If there's an odd number of people in your group, your coach is going to get to be someone's partner. Yay. I don't have anyone to resist to be a partner with, so I have to sort of mimic this. But you will link your band. You'll each have a band, and you'll link them together. So like the other band would be pulling here. Okay. So you have the handles out like this. Of course, the band is linked with your partners. You're both going to engage your legs just a little bit so you're nice and sturdy. And you're both going to do a back row at the same time. You need to be working with your partner and pulling at the same time for this one to work properly. So get in sync with your partner, talk to each other. Yes, so you're pulling, releasing. You want to squeeze those shoulder blades together behind you. So really pop that chest out and get those elbows back as far as you can. That's the partner band row. Another thing on the board is burpees. I know it's everybody's favorite. I'm going to show you the incline version first, and then show you a way you can choose to make it a little bit harder if you would like. So you'll need a bench if you're choosing the incline version. Hands go down on the bench with your feet still in the front, and we jump the feet then back. Make sure you're in a nice plank position and we don't jump back with the hips popping up. And then you jump in, and then we jump up. Okay, so we have 3 jumps. You can take any of them to a step to take out those jumps if you would need. Okay, now that is one way to do it. Another way is, of course, all the way on the floor. So let me show you the floor version. It is going to make it a little bit more, quite a bit more intense. Hands down to the floor, jump back, jump in, jump up. You want to watch your feet on the landing, whether you're doing floor or incline. Watch my feet when I jump back in. I'm going to land them nice and flat. We want to avoid landing up on the toes. Okay, so that's our burpee. Might get them, might not. Another exercise on the board is going to be shuffles. I only have a little bit of space where you can see me, so mine are going to be kind of short. If you have a fuller group, your coach will set up a nice area where everyone can do this at once. So for shuffles, keep a soft bend in your knees, sort of maybe coming into a quarter of a squat, so bending the knees a little bit. Stay low as you go side to side. Bring your feet together. Notice I'll show you from the side so you can see how I'm staying kind of low. Bring your feet together, stay low. You want to be nice and light on the balls of your feet. So your heels should never really slam on the floor. You're kind of bouncing up on the balls of your feet. That one is a lot of coordination, balance, cardio, and that's our shuffle. Another one that's everyone's favorite, push-ups. Who might get them, might not. As most of you who have been with us for a long time know, I have bad shoulders, so I will show you one push-up that should be okay for my shoulders. I'm going to do knees. So with a knee version, you want your hips level like this. We want to avoid coming up with the hips and get as low as you're able. Ooh. Keeping those elbows kind of tucked into the side. We don't want the elbows to flare out. We don't want the elbows to flare outward. The appropriate arm position for a good push-up is kind of elbows right about here, not out like this. And of course, you can do knees like I did. You can do toes if that works for you. It's the most difficult way to do them. You can also come up to an incline. So put your hands on a bench like I did with the burpees. Final exercise you, again, may or may not get. Marching hip bridge. This is going to target your glutes and your hamstrings. So we're on the floor, right? We're going to use the feet to lift and legs to lift the hips up as high as you're able. Now we want to keep the hips in that position. Arms on the floor first with the palms up for some stability. And we march, alternating knees into the chest. Trying to keep these hips up though. We want to avoid the hips starting to sink down like this. So that's our marching hip bridge. Hamstring, glutes, lower back exercise. Okay. Now for anyone who's unable to get to the floor, we're going to turn that into a deadlift. It's a very different looking exercise, but it has the same targeted muscles. I'm going to use dumbbells since that's what I have here, but you can choose to use a kettlebell as well. You're going to hinge at the hips, keep the back nice and flat, and those weights draw kind of right down the fronts of the shins. Notice how I'm putting a soft bend in my knees, not locking the legs straight. And the most important thing is that back position though. Watch out for a rounded back. Make sure you are keeping that back flat. So marching hip bridge with a deadlift for an alternative. All right, everybody, that is week 7. I hope you have fun with this. It's a little bit different. There is no team builder this week because this routine is going to be on the longer side, 28 minutes. And I hope you get some good combinations.